the road trip. This is DWTT. I've got Mr. Tom with me. We'll have probably some more guests come join us as well, and we'll see you in a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the road trip. It's I guess it's the second weekend, I believe, of the World Cup. So we'll see who joins us today. But I got my man, Mr. Tom, with me. How you doing, Mr. Tom?
Greetings. Not to make an instant correction, but the World Cup started on the Sunday, oddly. So I don't know whether that's a half weekend or how does that work?
It started in the weekend. I didn't say
yeah. You're not technically wrong, but it doesn't feel right, if you get what I mean.
I hear you. If it starts on a Sunday and
It
Sunday is the
Friday,
weekend.
Yeah. I know you're not wrong, but if it started Friday or Saturday, it'd be like, yeah, you start the weekend off with the football, but like because they don't start the football week on a Sunday, do they?
Nope.
But I was about to say other than in America, but that's not true either with your Thursday night football.
There you go. It used to be on the weekend, and then they said,
Yeah.
we're going to do it a little bit sooner than that. So we are here. We'll see if like I said, people will join us a little bit late. I think a lot of people are watching the World Cup, which is probably going on right now, right? France and Denmark are playing still 0-0 right now. I think France has had more than enough opportunities to score. Will they rue the day? We'll see. Denmark's also had an opportunity to score too, so it's gone both ways. So this one could go down, but I think France should have more than enough firepower, as they say, to finish them off if they decide to.
They need to start making use of it then, because their dominance isn't actually reflected in the shot count, as in they're not working the goalkeeper enough again.
They're getting opportunities where the shots are on target. That's part of it. I mean, I think I saw Mbappe sky one from just inside the box or whatever.
It's a lot of block shots from what I remember seeing.
Yeah. I guess you would expect that right from a Denmark, right? Denmark, the only way they're gonna beat them is if they make sure that the chances that France get are minimized. Minimized is key.
Sounds about right.
So that's the game going on right now, and I think we should have some. Yeah, that's a game that's going on right now, and I guess I'll wait and see if we get any guests before we start talking about the big match that happened yesterday. As Mr. Tom likes to say, a win for the U.S. of A. Yeah. Or the
I would argue that it was. I would argue that you won, even though you didn't literally win. Metaphorically, you won.
And I would say I don't deal in 1 point wins. It's just or what they call it. I forgot the words now. I can't think of the words now, but basically, you didn't win it, but you had a really good game, and you'll take it almost as a win. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be literal about this. We want the 3 points. We needed the 3 points. We played well enough to get 3 points, and
you should have won.
Be disappointed. The team should be disappointed and know they could do a lot better. But we'll get into that a little bit later. We'll talk about some stuff that's happened. I guess we'll talk about. I have some stuff here we can talk about while we wait. See if anybody else joins us, and if anybody in the chat has something they want to talk to us about. First in the chat box, BX has joined us. I like to say Biggs from the Boogie Down, but he is not in the Boogie Down. The man is heading out in the Carolinas. So I assume going from a concrete jungle to the Carolinas is a big change for him. But He's enjoying it, I believe. So we
He's a nice guy.
welcome to the show. He was talking about in 2026, seeing if we can go to a match together. Because of course, I think one of the matches will be in Philadelphia and New York.
Yeah.
So
Sounds. I'd be very surprised if a football match was not in that area of
yeah,
the country.
yeah. And
Of
actually,
the
it's going
Americas.
to be in Boston as well. So it's pretty much 3 of the 11 locations or cities will be in the Northeast, as we call it over here.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
and
I just got the notification for the show, so that
Hey.
may be why people are speaking
we'll
about.
see. And Sam has joined us. Sam, how you doing?
Mr. Greenwood.
Hello, good evening. Yeah, sorry, a bit late. I got a phone call from someone I had to answer. Let's put it that way.
No, we all have that call. All right, you just look at it and go, wait a second. All life stops until I answer this call.
How you guys doing? Okay.
Sorry,
we're doing good.
Sorry, I'm just going to add that to Sam's permanent record.
Yes, you know what? I forgot that we are keeping a track of actually everybody's attendance to the show. At the end,
mine would be
the
worst.
season, we will go back and look at where we stand, and appropriate measures will be taken.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that because I'd have the worst.
Why are we tracking
that was a great idea. You said absences, like lateness would be great. I'd be like, I'm always here 2 minutes early, but absences? No. Actually, I do have the latest appearance on the show as well. I believe that time that I called in from, walking along in the street, I believe
was. That's right.
So,
you didn't want to take the show at work. I don't understand where your dedication is these days. And a man is at work and says, "No, I cannot come on the show." We see where we stand. But we start off the show with some nonsense. So, Sam, I said the World Cup started on, this is the second weekend. Do you think it's the second weekend of the World Cup? Or according to Mr. Tom, the weekend starts on a Friday. So how can you call it the second weekend? That's what he said.
Yeah, I suppose so, really, in sort of like working week type of thing, I suppose, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I was saying, to be fair to Gary, he's not wrong. It started on a Sunday, which is part of the weekend.
Yeah.
But it's like it's the back end of the weekend. Like it feels wrong in the footballing terms to be like the World Cup started last weekend.
But let me tell you guys something that you may not be aware of. I'm going to educate both of you right now.
The week starts on a Sunday.
This is the finger of fickle fucking education. Right? Did you guys know that down there in the Middle East, their working week starts on a Sunday?
Whoa.
I did know this only because we literally had this discussion in here before where you educated us on that. And I was like, oh, yeah. I remember this happening.
I must have gone senile already. But anyway,
definitely
Sunday,
I don't remember it, so thank you for the refresher.
They work Sunday to Thursday, and then they have Friday and Saturday off.
Oh, no.
That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense, actually.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because obviously their religion is different to the Western world, so Sunday wouldn't have that significance.
That. Very correct. Yes, their religion is very different to ours. Well done, Tom.
Therefore, the obviously Christianity wouldn't hold the same significance, and with regards to the Sunday, that's why they're like, no, we'll just work while you're at church.
Different.
Or while you're not.
Very good, Tom.
Yeah.
You need to go and become a detective at New Scotland Yard straight away.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow because then I can go like we can pretend we're working in Qatar start of the week. So
yes,
exactly. But, cool.
Yeah,
I just picked out some things that I thought we could talk about, but as everybody knows, we will go where the
fire away, sir. 1 second.
You see below
my boy, the Arsenal misfit.
If you see in the first list there, let's say hi to the people first. Let's say hi to the people. Yeah, and I think Pete's is laughing at us or laughing at you, Mr. Tom. I don't know which one it is.
It wouldn't be the first time. It's fine.
Arsenal Misfit has joined us. Welcome, morning to
Steve.
you, Steve. I don't know if you're maybe you're not traveling, so you get to chat with us, so that'd be cool. So we will continue on here, and as I said, we've got a couple items I thought we could talk about. Tyler Adams for me, because we were talking. I think we were talking about this before he went to Leeds, right? And it was like that would be a cool play to pick up, I think. But I don't think Arsenal definitely was interested in that because they have Sambi. And seeing Tyler Adams yesterday once again, basically controlling the midfield for his team, you go, damn, that's what we need, and we need somebody young who can take over. And I think he's doing a good job, and I think it's all a mentality thing. That's why Sambi isn't going to make it because he's a similar age. He might be a year or two older, I think, but the command he has of the midfield, and this is against an England team who I believe should be able to put a lot of pressure on him. They weren't able to. So I don't know what you guys want to say about Tyler Adams, but I might be it could be a miss on England's part, but I don't know if they wanted to spend the money or if they wanted to give up.
His value's certainly going up now, isn't it? If you have, it's always the way. You have a good World Cup tournament, your value is going to increase, and more teams are going to want you. He's probably put himself in the shop window quite nicely now after that performance. I wouldn't mind having him in Arsenal.
We only bought him 4 months ago.
Yeah, well, next summer could be going.
No. He's having a great time at Ellen Road. I tell you, he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it here. Like I've spoke to him. I'm a close personal friend of his, obviously, and he was like, "Yo, Mr. Tom," and I was like, "What's that, Ty?"
Yeah, Mr. Tom. Is that your American slang or
hey, Tom.
accent?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah. Mr. Tom, what's happening?
Hey, Tom,
what's the hap? What's the haps?
Hey, Tom, what you digging?
I'm going to tell you some interesting stats on Mr. Tyler Adams, or as I can call him, Ty.
Mr. TA.
Yeah. 2 clearances, 2 out of 3 long balls completed, 3 ground duels run, 60 touches, 87% pass accuracy, 100% tackles won, 100% aerial duels won. And I know he recovered the ball about 12 times. I read that somewhere else. I mean, immense performance. And as I told Gary this yesterday, Anthony Robinson was caught out of position in one particular phase of play where basically we were going to get a shot on goal at least. And then Tyler Adams tracked the player, can't remember who it was, nothing came of it, doesn't matter. But Tyler Adams come in, crunched him with a tackle, ball out of play, fixed everything, and then he went like you would have thought he had just scored, because in his position that is the equivalent of scoring, I suppose. But I forgot where I was for a second because I'm used. Tyler Adams makes a tackle, something good's happened, and then I was like, "Yeah, go on, Tyler." And I realised, like, no, wait a minute, you're on the other team for once. Like that's. I'm not supposed to be wanting you to do well. Really, I just want him to not get injured, if anything. I mean,
True.
It's the ideal
situation. That's like Saka playing yesterday. It's like, do I want to see him score 2 more goals? Yes. Yesterday, no, not really. I mean, I thought that England would be able to score some goals yesterday. I think a lot of us did.
It weren't good enough from our perspective. Really. Yeah. So I'll tell you what disappoints me. What disappointed me about performance is it's typical England throughout historically where we have a good result where you can be like, all right, this is something to build on. And they don't build on it. Basically, sure. They just, and then like Southgate will sit there and be like, well, in the last World Cup, we won our first 2 games. So it's unrealistic to expect ourselves to win another 2 World Cup first. It's like, mate, you in the fixture list, you got United States men's national team, Lola, if you're watching, and you got, he ain't watching, and Iran. Like, that's, with the best of respect to the American men's national team, that's 2 fixtures most teams would not be unhappy about receiving, let's just say. And yeah, all right, we've got 4 points, so it's not an absolute disaster. But that no one's looking at that and going, well, this England team strikes fear into us, because we don't. We've got an absurd amount of attacking wealth, and we've got players that play in their day job. They play for managers who try to win football matches. Gareth Southgate tries to not lose football matches, and it's distinctly different.
Yeah. Just
Aside
before
from
we
the fact that
continue,
it is,
yeah, I just say just before we continue with that, because I just some comments before, because I didn't know where we were going to go with the conversation, like I said, but I do want to keep everybody involved as well.
yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys agree with this one, but as far as bringing in a foreign manager to manage your squad, I know you've seen it with a lot of the I guess smaller football nations doing it, and it's done well for them. It's a big country, USA. Maybe they don't have that quality of manager, because Marsh is probably the only one we got right now playing it, working. But yeah,
He'll
definitely need
be
better.
your coach.
Yeah,
He will
definitely
be
needs to.
your. He won't be your next coach necessarily, but he will at some point be out of work when you are making a change, and it will be the logical change to make.
Sure.
That makes
Would you be
sense.
happy to cheer on Bielsa when he if he were to coach the US of A?
That would be really interesting, because he would make you the thing with Bielsa in international management is he manages to find players like the great example Chile. Chile won the Copa America twice in a row, but because Bielsa discovered their best players 10 years previously when he was the coach.
All right.
So, like he said, he didn't discover Alexis Sanchez, to my knowledge, but he basically brought through a lot of the younger players that form the backbone of their team that actually won things. And like again, goes like he's like revered as a god there, obviously, because of course he is.
Yeah.
You with him, you're either revered as a god or he can't set foot in the town ever again, type thing. But it would not be the worst move to make to bring him in.
It would be, if you're going to go big, you might as well go big, right? And find somebody with it.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Massive risk.
Yeah, and like I said, Mbappe is strong and fast on the ball. Yeah, he's just got to work on his finishing, I think, right? Just not be able to put that ball on target.
Yeah,
I won't get into the performance. I know, Sam, I know we were talking about Tyler Adams, and then that led us into the USA. I think players, was it? Is that where you were going, Mr. Tom?
No, I just genuinely thought my overarching thought is about the tactics of England, and I'm not really a massively tactical person with knowledge of that, but I don't understand how you pick players basically from the Big Six who are used to playing the front foot football, where they're big on possession, big on going forward, because they're the best players with the best players around them. You've got the English ones together, and then you're like, oh, now I just want you to sit back and not concede a goal.
True.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Don't get me wrong. Of course, Mbappe scores, but if someone said to me, like, I can see this team going deep into the tournament because they don't concede goals. So yeah, in that respect, it's easy for me to sit and say it's not good enough now because of a poor result, let's say. But he can still go deep into the tournament. But
sure. Well, I'll let Sam have some say here, but I know
sorry.
comment. I was brought up again that the 2 goals versus Iran are more the problem than the 6 goals scored against Iran, and
I felt that at the time. Yeah,
he brought that up as well. So Sam, I'll let you have your say. You've been really quiet, holding it in.
Please, sorry.
No, it's fine. I thought
No,
let you guys.
I just kid. I kid when I say you've been quiet.
I'll let you guys say some stuff, and just keep my quiet here, my peace. No. Tyler Adams. To be honest, I haven't really been watching him that much. Previously. I mean, Leeds aren't. Sorry, Tom, but Leeds is not exactly a team I've been watching that much. Only highlights here and there, but But from what I saw yesterday, Tyler Adams had a great game. He's definitely a player that seems to be improving. He's getting more of a better reputation. I think, like I said, his value is increasing every game. He's probably going to be quite a desirable player by next summer. Be interesting to see if Leeds manage to keep hold of him, because they probably will get some bids for him. Maybe, if he continues the same way and has a good rest of the season in the Premier League. There could be some interesting bids for him that Leeds will have to consider. But yeah, I probably wouldn't mind him at Arsenal based on last night's performance. He's the type of player we need, our midfield, to help us get where we want to get. But America had a great game yesterday. They played well in terms of their energy, and they shut down all the spaces we're normally used to using. And that together with, let's put it, just to say it as is, that together with a very pathetic effort from England yesterday, they didn't really bother to show up, made it quite easy for America. I don't think they had a very hard time yesterday shutting England down. Harry Kane is poor. Harry Kane is really poor at the moment. And Mount, even though he had he had quite a good game against Iran. Mount was very poor yesterday, and I must agree with what a lot of the media and everyone's saying. I don't see why Phil Foden doesn't get to start games. He's that good. It's the thing with Southgate. Southgate is always basing on what has previously been good for him in tournaments ages ago. Well, we're not. It's not 2018 anymore, is it? It's players like Phil Foden are good now. He should be playing now. A Mason Mount, yes, was promising 2 years ago. Had a decent game against Iran, but his season hasn't been that great. And he had a shit game yesterday. So, Phil Foden should be starting these games. And anyway.
Yeah.
Gareth Southgate.
Let's say hi real quick. I'll let you continue. Stefan, welcome to the show. And,
Hey, Stefan, how you doing, dude? Anyway, so, I still think England are probably going to come back from that. I don't think, writing England off. This is the thing with media now. It's so knee-jerk reactionary. It's like from game to game. If you have a great game, you're going to fucking win everything. The next game, if you're not so great, you're going to fucking lose everything. It's up and down, 100% for, 100% against. There's no nuance anymore. You have a game that's not that great, and then all of a sudden, the next game you can be good again. They're human beings. They're fucking flesh and blood. They're not machines.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. You're going to drop off a bit with form, and then all of a sudden you're going to come back again and be good. So as long as Southgate he needs to make some changes. Let's be honest. If Southgate makes those changes and the guys get some of their grit back and their determination back, then England's going to be right back up there. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't want him sacked. Just because of drawing 0-0 with the United States. That's not. I want him to make a more positive use of what he has, because there are managers that would kill for the squad that he actually has.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what?
Our bench is great. Look at our bench. Look at the players on the bench.
Yeah. The 0-0 draw is just another thing that pile on the against keeping him on, because that's just another example. There is no way that in a 0-0 game with the attacking players like Foden sitting on the bench can't get in earlier. What did you see in the first 45 and the first 10 minutes of the second half to go? It's still working. So let's just continue to do this a little bit more before I make some changes. There's nothing going on. You bring Foden is one of the best teams in the world. Starts for them regularly now.
Yeah,
like you said, you jump on that and you take it. Sorry, I'm gonna hide somebody here who just joined. I think Sam.
I don't think that's a real person, to be honest.
Big's gonna got to that. I'm gonna say it's one of Sam's guys just jumped in the chat.
Bloody hell, one of my fans. No, I don't.
Beard Gunner has moderation privileges, does he?
He does. I've given my good friends the power, so he got to it too. Thank you. But no,
that's like letting the fox have power over the hen house, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but think about it. Like you said Foden should start. Like how does he start? And with is it Sterling that has to go to the bench, or is it Saka?
Foden in Mount's role.
Okay,
Foden
that's right.
Not the players.
Foden can play anywhere along the front line.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd be accepting of him not playing Foden. It's the fact that, because even if he did play Foden, they still won't make use of him because the tactics aren't set up to make use of your attacking players. You could literally put Ronaldo and Messi up top and it wouldn't matter because he's still going to play a back eight.
Yeah, I
Who's
mean,
going to get him the ball?
It's back a bit too much at the moment, but
Yeah.
they shouldn't be because they're playing with Rice as a single pivot and Bellingham and Mount as like 2-8. So we should, one of those should be Foden. And if you can't get Foden and Bellingham to create stuff, then you might as well just you got to go find a job as a chippy or something instead. I mean, it's they're very, very good creative players. But some of it's down to Kane as well. I mean, Kane keeps dropping in far too deep. When you've got players like Bellingham and if you had Foden on the pitch, you got these guys, and you don't need to be dropping right into midfield. You need to be up top where you can get on the end of a ball. It pisses me off with Kane. He does have that. He does have for Tottenham because Conte asked him to do that, to drop in and help with midfield. But for England, he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, no, I saw that yesterday, and I was like, we were praising Lacazette for doing that because, of course, he wasn't going to score for us anyway. So at least he's supporting us in the midfield. But as you said, when Kane has to come back, then wait a second, there's no number 9 up there.
Yeah,
where he should be when you've got the wings that you have playing. So it definitely, as they say, plays. It's as this comment says here, you play in a negative way, right?
Yeah.
My comments aren't showing up, but there we go.
You've got to let these guys attack. I mean, if you had Foden and Bellingham in front of Rice, and you got like the Saka and the Sterlings and or a Grealish instead of a Sterling, and you let Kane actually sit up front, hold the front line, you might actually get something out of a game. We've got the best thing we've got going for us is attacking. We've got an immense attack that, in my opinion, is up there with any other team in the world. With our players, when they're in form and they're playing together, they are just as good as any other team in international team in the world. I'm going to stick my neck out and say that. But they have to be able to play. The right players have to be selected, and they have to tactically be set up to play that way.
Yeah, and I guess Mr. Tom, I think Southgate said that I believe he said that the 6-2 win made this match against USA a little bit challenging because the team was tired.
Southgate says so much crap. Like he said he was happy with the performance and the level of effort and stuff. I mean, of course he says that because he doesn't want to be negative towards his players, in public and get to them in public. But it's like, it's basically lying. I mean, you can't say that, with fully believing what you're saying, because the game, even the players didn't look like they were bothered half the game. It was like, they had that attitude. Oh, it's America. We're going to beat them. We're just going to do our thing. And by the 70th minute, we might be 2-0 up and we'll win the game. There wasn't that effort. Like, we really need to go out there and prove something. That there wasn't any of that. And that, it's not good enough.
We'll never beat them at a World Cup. It will never happen. Partly, and this will say, and you think, that's like a negative defeatist attitude. But the reason I say that is because as a nation in footballing terms, they are getting better. They're not getting worse. We didn't beat them when they were amateur. And we had supposedly the greatest team I'm talking about 1950, Gary. Yeah. But we had supposedly the greatest team in the world. Obviously, it was proven to not be true. But that's how they felt. Yeah. And played them to the point. Of course, America made a movie about it because they make a movie about anything that they win at. But the point is, yeah. But the point is, we'll probably, because of this, we'll probably play them in a friendly in 18 months' time and beat them 3-1 or something like that. But it won't matter because the game that actually mattered in a competitive outcome, we did not turn up.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit, and I will lie through my teeth for the sake of comedy and amusing myself. But I cannot sit here with any conscience and say that the right result last night was anything but America, United States men's national team, whatever you want to call them. The team that played you were in the blue shirts, were you not?
Yep.
I've already forgot. Yeah. Yeah, team in the blue shirt last night should have won that contest. It wasn't even a contest. Well, it was ridiculous from our perspective. From your perspective, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, no, like I said, going into it, I was confident that we're going to play well because I saw them when they didn't make the World Cup, right? And that's what some of the oldest stars as they were getting to the end of their days, and they needed to bring in the youth, and I think that's one of the things that the U.S. women is experiencing now is that they didn't bring the youth in soon enough because now they're seeing a dip, right? And I think it's a hard thing to do, like. Probably Brazil, maybe it went through it, but they've always had some young stars that are there. And I think the key thing is to bring them in when you can, when they're ready. All right. When they're ready. There's no reason for me right now. England should have both a Henderson and a Maguire. Only one of them is required for what they need. They need leadership from one of the best English players out there, and Henderson probably is more that leader. He can sit on the bench if he needed to. Maguire, I don't think is the guy. He's not leading you, and he doesn't even. Henderson and him are at different levels. It's not even a question, right?
Maguire was good last night, though.
No, he was good, but you know what? That's it's. You're telling me there's not another English center back out there?
Of course there is. You're right, of course there is. But without him specifically on that given night, we would have lost.
Yeah, it's consistency, right? So, are you going to expect the same, on Tuesday? And I think that's, people will probably say probably not. But, he could do it again. But I don't know. I think, you want to take people that are on the rise, and he wasn't rising going into this thing. He does show up for it. But as you said, it isn't as if you're not one of the biggest nations of football out there. You should be able to do better. You should be able to have better.
We will. I think we will. I think we'll bounce back against this one. I think we'll beat Wales. And then I think we'll progress and we'll see how far we get in the tournament. The Achilles heel for us is Gareth Southgate because, we see that, he gets selections wrong. He gets substitutions wrong. The guy tactically, the players, I've said this so many times, the players are so good. They're at that level where they can play football. They can figure out most things by themselves and can play up to a very high standard just by themselves. But when you actually need that tactical edge, you need the right setup. You need the right substitutions. You need a whole plan for the whole 90 minutes of a football game against a very good team, because that's what you have to do. It's a battle of attrition against the top team. You need to have a plan for the last 20, 30 minutes to win the game. That's where Southgate fails. That's where he's every single time we come up against class opposition in a semi-final or a final, when we should be pushing through to win, he fucks up. He gets things wrong, and that's the difference. Southgate is not going to get us all the way this time either. So we're going to go out at some stage, but I do think we'll go through the groups. We have to now because.
We're
not going to lose.
I think the worst thing you have to lose by 5.
We're not going to lose against Wales. That's not going to happen. I mean, that doesn't. No. Yeah. Anyway,
four goals.
Yeah, no. But I thought it's goal difference, it's goal difference, and it's goal scored. And I think Wales has only scored the 1 goal, so they would have to score.
We'd have to lose. As Tom said, we'd have to lose
head to head as well.
No, head to head is the third. It's the third thing.
Okay. So as Tom said, we'd have to lose by 4 goals.
No, 5. You need to get the goal difference.
4 on T. Someone said 4 on T.
Oh, you're right. You know what? If it's tied on but goals scored, I think they have to score 5 and win. Because
they have to win by 4. Someone said on TV today that we have to lose by 4 goals.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Sorry. Yeah, but they have to score 5 goals.
Okay, they have to score 5 goals, and then we have to lose by 4 anyway. Yeah. If we lose by 4 goals,
we feel a lot better about it.
But so we're going to go through. But again, like I said, Gareth Southgate is a weakness. He doesn't set up the right team. The guys tactically are not doing the right thing. But America's coming a long, long way, a huge way, and they're much better than what they were 4 years ago, 8 years ago. Football. You can see the Premier League and football in general, as you guys call it, soccer. It's catching on more and more over there. It's becoming more and more popular. It's never going to be.
You know what's crazy is?
It's never going to be as popular as your 3-4 major sports, but it's coming along, right?
It's big in the communities. I mean, that's how it is big there. every kid at some point between the ages of 5 and probably 18 played soccer,
Yeah,
football, right?
Mhm.
Every one of them. I mean, all my kids have played it
yeah,
at some point, so they all. That's probably bigger than any other sport. A lot of kids will play basketball at some point, but they can play soccer at any age, right? You can't play basketball
yeah.
because of the hoop and all that
Yes.
stuff.
But
So
generally,
Oh,
the
yeah.
level has been so crap because I lived in America for 4 years when I was a kid, between the ages of 8 and 12, and I played soccer over there through school. Like we did a bit of school, at school. Oh, let's play some soccer, and the level was just so crap. It's like they had no idea what they were doing. It's just like it just didn't really catch on. But now I think they've done so much better. With doing things properly, you got proper. I think coaching over there and the whole setup has come a long, long way. I think
well, the
Yeah.
MLS, the
you're
MLS is
finding
doing kind
parents
of the
with
things
kids
that you
now,
guys
aren't you?
do over there with the
Yes.
academies, right? So
Yeah.
you got the MLS, and then you got the academies. So now those kids that look the part will get a little bit of training now from professional managers and stuff, and can be part of an academy and all that stuff and get
Mm.
better. And then next thing you know, boom, they're looked at by they looked at by a lot of people around the world. Now you see what probably most of the a large percentage of the players on the U.S. team are playing internationally now, because that's where
Yeah.
they get the best training, which is what you want. Until I don't think it'll catch on here because of the way our structure of the MLS is. I don't think it'll get any better, but they can still go international. So there you go.
The thing with football, the reason it caught on worldwide,
Mm, mm,
again, not so much in your country, but generally speaking, is because the barrier to entry is non-existent.
mhm.
It costs very little money to actually play football. Obviously, you need a football, but between 1 to 22 people, one you add to football, you can play it.
Yeah.
But you've also got to keep in mind, like, the amount of people that will watch Wimbledon, the tennis, and go, "Oh, I'd love to get into tennis." And then you have to buy the racket, you have to buy the tennis balls, you have to find a tennis court that has net. If you find a tennis court that don't have nets, there's no point in playing.
No, it's true. Most of them don't have nets. If you go into a proper one, it costs you money, quite a lot of money to be a member and all of that.
Yeah, you play cricket, you ain't got no stumps, no point in playing. You ain't got a bat, no point in playing. I know you can say you ain't got a ball, no point, but the ball is the accessible part.
Yeah.
Which again, you only need one of. But my point being, you can play football anywhere. Realistically, you don't act like it. Obviously, it's a parent's nightmare, but you could technically play it in any space. Like you don't even actually need the posts for the goals.
No, you just jumpers for goalposts, right?
Exactly. But because of that, that's happened. A lot of people more. It's a sport where you can watch it and do it.
Yeah. And and I think we jumped a little too far, because I played a lot of basketball, and you just go to the courts and you just play, and that's where you learn a lot of you learn a lot of your craft, basically playing out there on the courts. We don't have those kind of pickup games for soccer over here. Now it's all organized, and unless you have quality coaches, because usually it's just a parent coaching the kids, they're not going to get the proper training at a younger age where you can actually see something, and the academy structure isn't that big yet. So there's enough people here, but then there's also enough people here that can choose, right? They can choose whether or not they want to play for the U.S. or if they want to play for another country, because of the what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it's very difficult. Say, like, you find someone who's good at, let's say they're good at football, but they're probably going to be good at one of the other American sports. Like they're good with football, they're probably good with a football. So, but then it's convincing them that it's worth their time to get into our football.
Yep.
Because the financial rewards and the prestige is all in NFL, making it to that as such.
And and there's more opportunities in world football, as I like to say, because every country has it, and you don't, like NFL is just the U.S. and is only, as I say, every year about 300 to 500 people get drafted to try it out, and it sounds like a large number, but it isn't, right?
So I
It's not a
love
large
games,
number at all,
honestly.
right?
Yeah,
And
no,
there's
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're
But I think
world champions. You
Yeah.
know, when you only got Americans competing.
hey, you can come and
I
join
think-
if you want to spend the money, right?
I think you're underselling a lot of the social aspect of it, though. Like, nothing you've said is wrong, but
Yeah.
you're pulling. Say you're putting. Let's pretend Sam's American. Sam has tried to play football, but his dad has been brought up American football, loves American football, and it's his dream to see Sam play for his beloved Green Bay Packers,
Fuck you,
for
Dad.
example. Yeah,
Holding me back, Dad. You're holding me back.
Well, you know what,
But
that
it's that
happens, but
sort
then
of
you
thing.
know what? It
Yeah.
also, there is the realization that because that happens, right? You get pushed into American football, but then either one, you're not big enough, strong enough, crazy enough to play the sport. At some point, you take a hit, and only the crazy people go, get back up and go, I'm going to do this again,
Yeah.
right? You see the hits that they take, and then you're like, maybe not, and then maybe I'll try something
Yeah, I
else,
played
right?
baseball. I played baseball when I was in America. I played baseball. I played played at quite a high level as well. Baseball. I was little league, but I was like we had the best team, and it was good fun. Little league, the baseball was fun,
Yeah,
and that's what I learned to play when I was there. I learned to play baseball.
yeah. And I know that I'm going off on a tangent here, but Stefan said we don't know how Southgate got the job.
Was he at
we know how.
Middlesbrough?
I'll
He was
tell you.
brilliant.
Yeah, no, he would. Yeah, he got them to. I could be wrong. Europa League final, I believe, when he was the manager. But that ain't the actual reason he got the job. The actual reason he got the job was because they had to pay off Allardyce, they had to pay off Fabio Capello and Roy Hodgson, and they basically were like, "Why can't we just get someone that's already in house?" And he was like the under-21 coach or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Would you fancy being England manager?" That was basically it. It was because then if we sack you, it's not going to cost as much
Yeah,
because you already
that doesn't
worked
actually
for
sound
us.
like a good long-term business plan, right? Unless you had did you have one of the best under 21 men's team in the world at the time?
They generally qualify for tournament, but again, it's another case of like the wealth of talent they have at that level. They should be getting to the European Championship under 21
Well,
type thing.
but you've seen it, right? Chelsea had had a really stacked team with a lot of players, quality players, and it doesn't work if the manager's wrong, right? It doesn't work if the manager's wrong. I mean, the way that England's playing, and this is the thing here, right? As Stefan says here, this thing's he's moving on me here, but Wales is looking at the England team, going, you know what? If we just go 110%, which would probably kill them, they could get something out of the match. And unless, like you say, England changes their ways, and it looks like Mbappe scored his second goal of the match. I don't know. I think he scored with his because I don't think it hit. It didn't hit his leg. It didn't look like. So we'll see if they count it there. But he scored again. But he's in the right place at the right time. Oh, here we go. Southgate knows Eddie Nketiah is not good enough. I think those are fighting words, Mr. Tom. I think Big Gunner's he's testing you.
Nketiah,
You're not gonna take the bait. You're not taking the bait.
You're not taking the bait, are you?
Oh, is he on mute on us? Is he talking to his kids?
Have you turned your mic off?
I didn't turn his mic off.
I forgot. Yeah, no, I forgot I had the mute on. Yeah, I know. I don't really know what to say to it. I mean, what did I do to deserve this personal disrespect? I mean,
Nketiah,
I thought me and BX were boys. He's part of my boys' club. When he appears, I'm like, it's my boy BX, and then he hits me in the crotch with that. I mean, it's just if I had feelings, they'd be hurt. I mean, it's just outrageous,
man.
And as you say, the price of football and hockey equipment is insane. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he's talking American soccer equipment.
All the pads and all that. Yeah.
and that has to be organized because of that. It's a collision sport. It's like boxing. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that on the street in the park. You gotta organized. As you say, France has scored again. I think this is talking about a second goal here. That's it. It's interesting you say that because if he managed Eddie and he's not bringing Eddie in, then it's not only he's only bringing his friends in, is it? Because
Southgate. We know that. That's the thing with Southgate. He just goes off of who's played well for Southgate. It's like, well, okay, they played well for you 2 years ago.
Yeah. Everybody, they didn't know that that hurt. They didn't know that touched the heart. They didn't know. They didn't know. They know now.
That deep, that one.
Where my heart should be if I had one, it would be hurt. All right. If my heart had hands, it would be going, what did I do to you? Yeah.
No. We have some other things that we did not talk about, which because we've gone off and I don't know. Oh no. Oh, it's still sitting there on the bottom there. Tyler Adams got us into the U.S. match, U.S. football, the future players of the football in general. But what else do we have there?
Sorry, did you say the future? Did you say future football players? And then after Tyler Adams, it says Ronaldo,
I got it all.
Lewandowski, and Messi.
You should be able to laugh at it because I didn't know the word play was terrible. It was not good at all.
By future of football, you mean like until the next 2 weeks are up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where it was going.
When's the final again? What date is the final?
It's like December 17th, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've made the number up, but it's around that. It's because we get teams are getting like a week off.
Yeah.
A whole 7 days or something like that.
No, I was gonna say it's this World Cup is like a first for many. Lewandowski scores his first. CR7 or Cristiano for you guys scored a goal in his fifth World Cup. I believe that's a record.
Yeah, that's a record.
It is, yeah.
So I mean, I don't, as the Ghana manager said, that was a gift. It was a gift.
It was. It was a penalty though.
Yeah, but it was a gift.
I've seen worse penalty decisions given.
Very true.
I partly think it was given because of the naivety of going in on him like that when he was actually moving away from the goal. So,
true. But like I said, so when Lewandowski gets his first goal, he looked really happy to see that, and I think that may open up his game even more because he looked like he was ready to score again once that goal went in. And I forget who they were playing, but they looked like they could have scored more.
Saudi Arabia,
yeah, and Saudi Arabia. That's right. That's why I put that down there. Saudi Arabia probably should have. Yeah, exactly. They
should have won today.
Yep.
But they didn't get the luck when they needed it, and they lost.
Yes, they should have. They had more than enough opportunities to score in that game. Once again, I say that all the time, but they did. They did have many opportunities. They didn't finish. You don't finish your dinner. Guess what? You give the other team a chance, and they took their chances, and they had the better player as well.
Yeah. So sorry, just get this out before I forget. My concern with Saudi Arabia beating Argentina was, yeah, it's hilarious, and we all laugh at Argentina, and it's like, how do you lose to them, sort of thing, and this, and they deserve to lose to them. Saudi Arabia played fantastic in that game, especially in the second half. But at the same time, I was concerned, like, I don't want this to overshadow what that country is actually like. As opposed, like, because now when you think, I don't want to think of that country and think, oh yeah, but they beat Argentina in the World Cup and it was hilarious.
Yeah,
it should be like no.
I think somebody commented about that earlier in the chat here. Where was it talking about? Oh no, it's about Iran, but essentially the message still holds, right? That it's more to football that's going on in a lot of these countries that are just playing football here. So yeah, And I don't know where Stefan's going with this one. He's speaking of funny, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the amount it shows you how corrupt it is down there. The amount of stuff they've had to do and change and bend into God knows what to get it to work. I mean, just because they've obviously bought the right to that World Cup, haven't they? This time round, Qatar. I mean, everything goes against it. It's too small a country. They had no stadiums. What kind of footballing nation is Qatar? They've got no football heritage whatsoever. It's just ridiculous. All they are is a big oil country, oil rich, and they say, oh, we want because we want to be on the world map or have all the greatest sporting events and be noticed by everyone. We want people to come here. We want tourism. Yeah, let's buy the World Cup. Yeah, how much does that cost? Hey, old Sepp, how much you want for the World Cup? Oh, 10 million. Okay, here you go. I mean, it's ridiculous, absolutely farcical the way it is. So they had to move it to December. They had to change all the European world leagues, schedules around. And they're in a nation that don't have any fun. Imagine bringing something fun to a nation that has no fun. You can't do anything fun over there without getting a body part chopped off. So yeah, that's great idea, idea.
And they cut off the beer before you had a chance to even make
and
it this order.
And they only let you have it in small fan zones. We have to pay between like 20 and some report up to £80 a pint. And then you get tiny little bits of salad, like a little bit of food, like about that much, a few leaves of salad for like £15, just to extort people, get as much money out of them as possible, which in an oil-rich nation like that with loads of money, that's exactly what they need, is more money. It's just a complete joke, absolute joke. It really is. Like loads of fans can't even go down there, or they don't want to go down there. So they've got like renter fans down there. Of course, they're getting all these slave laborers who have finished working now, who they don't let leave because they want them to start making malls and other building projects. They're not letting them leave. They're going to bring them on to do other stuff. Now they're just using them while they have a break. They're using them as fake fans now. So yeah, well, thank you, Bangladeshi slave laborers. You're fake fans now. It's just what a joke. It's half of me doesn't even want to watch the World Cup, but I've always watched every World Cup since I saw my first proper full World Cup in '94 on TV. The USA World Cup.
That was the first one I watched.
I always loved the World Cup. The World Cup is the best players playing against each other for the best international teams. Yes, I'm not a great fan of all the hundreds of extra friendly matches they play now and all these crappy other tournaments they have to play, international tournaments like the UEFA Nations League bollocks and all of that. But the World Cup, I've always followed the World Cup. That is special. It's in the summer. It's in the break after the league finishes. All the major leagues are finished. They have a break. Then they have a World Cup. Then they come back after the World Cup. That's the way it's been every 4 years. But now, no, Qatar had to and FIFA had to fuck all that up. And it's half of me doesn't even want to watch it, but I want to because I always do. I always want to see the best players, but it's got this huge, terrible, taste in my mouth, watching it.
Yeah, you know what? That along with the Olympics is the same thing. I know it's always about the money. I hate that it's always about the money. I don't hate too much, but I hate that. And as I've always said, and you guys probably heard me say this multiple times, but for anybody new, it doesn't have to go to a country who can't support it as is today. Right? Like right in this day and age, there's no reason to go to a country that doesn't have, like you say, a heritage, much less they don't even have enough football stadiums to handle the amount of teams coming in and the sporting events. Like you have Olympics in countries that don't have a stadium. Like here's where we're gonna run. Here's the marathon's gonna run, and you're gonna run into that stadium. They don't even have that. It doesn't make any sense. Use that money to improve the game. I know it's all about the money, and they want to make more money. For what reason? What's more money? I get it because I don't have it. I don't understand how that mindset works. But in this day and age, you don't need give it. You can bring in another country who doesn't have a heritage, and make them a co-host, right? a small nation that like right now you could have just decided at this moment, you know what, Ukraine is going to be the co-host of the World Cup, right? And they get whatever monies they would get anyway as a host, because I know they pay to get it, but then expected money back at some point, right? So they get some of those monies from it being housed in a country or a region that can handle it,
Yeah.
right? And you share the wealth a little bit, right? So
Well, the
that's
next
kind of
one's
how
going
it
to
is.
be
That's
better
how,
than isn't it? The next one, the USA and Canada sharing the next one. You guys have got plenty of good venues, so
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you look at all the venues that they have, they're all the big names, all the big play. They play Super Bowls there. They will play.
Yeah.
They will play the big sporting events there as well. So it should.
Yeah,
It'll be
but
fun.
your country's World Cup in '94 is the most successful World Cup there's ever been. In financial metric, it's still nearly 30 years later the most attended World Cup in terms of stadium capacity, attendance, like actual pay to get in kind of things.
Yep.
By every metric you use to judge a World Cup, 1994 World Cup, considering it played significantly less matches than every World Cup since, still the most successful. And and the fact is, based on what FIFA tries to say, as in like we want World Cups to create a legacy for the country it's in, it literally did that. Because they only gave it to your country on the understanding that you would finally create a professional football league that you would actually stick to, and you have.
And it was I would think it's disappointing not to be part of this thing that they call football, right? Because you are a big nation that can support, like you can find 20 to 30 players out there that are that have over time. It's not going to happen immediately, but over time will become good enough to compete with the big teams out there.
Well,
Yeah,
you have to, because you're such a huge. When you're 300 million people, you are eventually. It's going to take time, but eventually you're going to find a squad. You're going to have a squad of football players who are going to be good enough to win something.
And it's multicultural, so you're going to get a lot of you're going to get from Latin
America, South Americans,
from
right?
Europe,
you got a lot of people
from
South
Africa,
America.
there's a lot of air, so you can find 3 or 4 in each culture, and you're probably going to be fine, and probably going to get some of the best players out there. So yeah. The rent-a-fan thing is ridiculous. I mean, if you got it, you shouldn't have to do that, right? But they did it anyways because they knew that people were looking at it negatively, and they needed to overshadow the fact that the people that are there probably don't want to cheer for it, because do they want people to know they're there and all that kind of stuff, right? So
what's interesting about this kind of thing, the rent-a-fan, it makes me sit there and think like let's say the last 40 minutes of this hour where we discussed England game, why am I even bothered? Like, we played it in what is essentially a pretend World Cup, like a plastic World Cup. Like, it's not real, because the people that live there are being paid to pretend they're a fan of it, kind of thing. And it's like, why are we getting so het up about performances and England did this and they should have done this? And yeah, of course, we're naturally going to do that. But I sit and think, like, ultimately, at the end of the day, this tournament is bollocks. We sit there and talk like Nations League doesn't matter, but we get upset over this.
But you know what? Those players don't have anything to do with all the mess that's going on around them.
No, that's true. That's true.
I mean, Messi wants to go out a champion. Ronaldo wants to go out a champion. Lewandowski wants to get his team definitely out of the groups and playing well. I mean, the USA wants to show that they missed out, but they are back again. Right? England should be showing that they can win this thing. Right? Brazil and Portugal all expect to be in the finals. Right? Spain. So all the craziness that's going on in the world, those 22 players on the pitch don't have time to think about that, or else we don't get to see the good football that they have in there.
No, I know that's true, really. I just mean on us as fans and us as discussing it. sort of thing. It's like we're taking it ultra seriously, the performance England last night, and we're right to, because it was terrible. Like, we're calling it as we see it as terrible, but by the same token, I'm sitting going, does it really matter? Because this tournament is a farce.
It is and it isn't, right?
Will be remembered.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
This tournament is going to be remembered for all the wrong things. That's the thing. It's going to be remembered for all the negative aspects, and it's going to be quickly forgotten. In terms of, you know, anything good is going to be quickly forgotten.
Yep. Well, we used to have. Oh, sorry. We used to have a thing here. We used to have a thing here on TV following a World Cup or in the lead up to a World Cup. You'd get like the 50 shocking moments of the World Cup, and you'd get talking heads that would they'd play a clip. Like, let's say, argument's sake, it'd be Maradona punching. That's normally number one, like, shocking moment. Punching one goal, and then people would they'd go to ex-pros or whatever, and they'd go, "Oh, this is shocking. Oh, I can't believe they talk about what their feelings on it were." If they did, I don't know if they still do that type of thing, but if they did that for this tournament, it's going to be just different people going, "That Renter fan was a bit lame, wasn't it?"
Yeah, it's true.
Like that. That's going to be one of the first things you mock, because it's like. There's a guy, I swear this is true, Sam. Sorry, just quickly get this out before I forget. There's a guy in the crowd for the Poland-Saudi Arabia game who's wearing Saudi Arabia shirt. And when Lewandowski scores, he took his Saudi Arabia shirt off and he had a Poland shirt with Lewandowski on the back of it.
Why not?
And he started going, it's brilliant. Brilliant. I've seen the clip. Like, it exists. It's a real thing. I've seen it happen. And he was getting booed by all the people around him. But he's sitting there going, "Oh no, I'm gonna get viral on Twitter." It's like, of course you are. You're a
twat. No, why not? No, what I was going to say was one thing I've noticed is quite significant is you saw before the tournament started as well. Signs of it is how much control everything's controlled. The PR perspective and what you can see, what you're allowed to see. From a media perspective is so controlled that they obviously don't have that open access that they normally have to go and do whatever they want. I'm talking about the media now, because before, you know, World Cups, you go and see everything going on, you know, down around inside the stadium, out and around with different fans. You'd go to a different area, you do this and that. And now you see there's none of that. You might have one bit here or there that's pre-planned and like pre-arranged, but all that spontaneous going to do this, going to do that none of that's there because they're not allowed to do it. You see, the entire coverage, the entire pre-match coverage and post-match coverage is all in a studio. It's all studio set, you know, it's all pre-arranged, set in the studio. So there's none of that spontaneity, none of that going around seeing what's actually happening because they're not allowed to. The security forces won't let them because it's so controlled. They don't want them seeing things or talking to the wrong people or seeing something they don't want them to see. It's ridiculous. And that itself shows you how ridiculous the whole setup is around this tournament.
Yeah. As you said, because it's almost like you said, you don't even get to hear about the people because we already know, and we don't. Nobody likes it.
You know, not even down in the stadium. It's like normally you'd go down in the stadium and talk to people in the stadium. Instead, they don't even do that.
That's a very good point, Sam. And I don't mean to sound patronising when I say that. It's just you saying that has triggered in my mind. Yeah, that's what I've got used to, as you say, like it goes to Roy Keane in the studio and they chat, and then that show's over, sort of thing. Yeah. Like you're saying, they usually show you like, oh, let's see the local scenery around this stadium, like with Brazil. It was like Brazil had the stadium literally built in a rainforest. So they were like, look at the trees around the stadium, because that's the point of it. You see parts of the world you never normally see.
And also, like say half an hour after the game, right? After the game, half an hour, you go down outside the stadium, you go to the local area outside the stadium, you start talking to the fans, and you talk to them, and you talk to this. They don't do any of that.
Doesn't Qatar have? I mean, they have the.
Qatar have fans, about 4 of them. Probably.
Well, no, I was going to say, like, they were asking about the fan zones, and you see the fan zones, and you look, and you're like, it doesn't look as international as it probably should look.
No, because what's happening is very few of the, let's say, tourists, the people who are supposed to be traveling there to watch the World Cup, there's been so few that have showed up because it's the ones that are there don't go to the fan zones because they know how ridiculously extortionate it is. They know
It would have
it's
been-
going to cost you 50 quid a pint and 15 quid for two
Yeah.
leaves of a green salad.
I think it would have been exposed even further if Sweden had qualified, because obviously their fan zones would be really interesting because it'd be, where are all the blonde white folk? Why are all the Swedish fans Qatari?
Well, no, but did you see the fans when they showed it the first time? I don't know what country. I forgot what country it was they were wearing. Brazil, and every one of them.
Well,
You're
there was
like,
the same guys wearing all the different teams.
They
And
were
they
wearing
they were trying to sing the songs. They couldn't even sing the songs.
they were wearing England shirts, and they went up to one of them like, who's the best England player of all time? And one of them went, Harry Kane. And it was like really.
And they were trying to sing the songs.
It's doing the accent,
so
get
they
me
couldn't even sing
cancelled.
any of the songs.
Yeah. They were like it was like sing It's Coming Home right now, or I will embarrass you on social media for the shams that you are.
yeah.
That
Hey,
sounded
Miss
more threatening
Hey,
than I
Miss
meant it.
Melina, welcome to the show. It's good to see you. It's good to see you.
How is your health? How is your health doing?
Yeah,
Sorry, Gary.
well.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. The fact that she's in the chats, I know is a good thing because she's up and about.
It's good.
Looking forward to seeing you back on the screen at some point. But hope you're feeling well and full recovery soon, hopefully. To you.
Yeah, hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, with respect to everyone, thinking about the shirt, the guy who took his shirt and he had the Poland shirt underneath. I would love, as much as I'm mocking that, I would love to do that. But have you seen the cost of football shirts nowadays? That's not financially worth a troll. I'm not paying £160 just to troll half of the supporters.
I was just laughing at Melina. She's saying, "Feel like party going through physiotherapy." Yeah, well, you're lucky. You're not. It's not as bad as that. I mean, him going through physiotherapy is going to take a couple of years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed people watch the replay of this. I mean,
I appreciate it. We talk about good stuff here, Mr. Tom. You gotta stop feeling surprised. All right.
What I like is we got like 5 fans, right? There's only 5 of them, but they're hardcore. They watch and hear everything, and even do replays. They're hardcore.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but of course you have to watch it. If you watch this twice, you pick up jokes because they might have been watching you for saying you were saying, but they're missing my nonsense. See, they see
exactly.
like it's layered. The comedy's layered like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
They've got to get it all. You got to do the replay to get it all. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like the movie Fight Club. Like once you've seen the twist, you rewatch it again, knowing the twist, and it's a different experience. I'm not telling you what. Yeah, I'm not telling you what the twist is. I'm not that sort of person.
You know what? I call it. It's a road trip because if you've been on a road trip, at some point somebody's going to tell you about the road trip, and you're going to go, "I don't remember that part." Right? And you go, "That happened." You're like, "Yes, that happened." And you're going to go back through your memory banks. And go, "Oh, you're right." That's a road trip, man.
Stefan, trying to be all coy, fans. Like you're not one of our fans. You was here the other day asking me to sign your tits.
I would have signed the other one. just magical.
Oh man, yeah. So France is one.
No, I imagine it's quite overwhelming for Miss Melina to see the outpouring of support.
Yeah, it's been great, hasn't it? It's been good for her.
She had a crazy month, right? Got to go see Arsenal play, and then all this craziness that when she returned. So crazy.
I've got no punchline to that. Like, I'm not going to make a tasteless joke. Like, it's genuinely amazing that so many people care. But because if that sort of thing happened to me, I'd be getting messages like, "Are you gone yet, Tom? Like, are you?" You gone like sort of thing. Like people will be double checking to make sure I'm not coming back to the road trip.
Steven's just checking on Miss Melina. Yeah, no, we're all there. I always chat with Miss Melina in the DMs about how things are going. So
Yeah,
she lets us know what's going on in her life. So
she's been around for a long time, Melina, since we back in the pandemic days.
So cool. Yes. We're
It's emotional.
here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No. I seem like I'm taking the piss, but I do genuinely want well for the boys and the girls. And when I say boys and girls, Miss Melina's one of my boys still.
Yeah. One of the lads.
Yeah. Treat people equally. She's part of the boys' club.
There you go.
Yes. It's great to see the same guys pop up again, and girls, of course. Pop up again is great.
Cool.
So about that Japan, eh?
Oh, that's why it's on there. Yeah, Japan went out there and did a job, and it started when what happened, Mr. Tom? Come on, you can say it. When did the Japan game change? Who came off the bench?
Are you referring to Tomiyasu,
Right.
Minamino, and
Tomiyasu? I don't know about the other guys.
Asano used to play for you as well, did he not?
Yeah,
I mean, at best, he played for your Cowbell Cup team. But
yeah, I think he played one game or something.
But no, I'll give him his credit, right? That touch from that long pass, that touch, the one touch that killed the ball dead, beautiful. Just thing of beauty. I was in awe. Because that's don't get me wrong, he will probably not do another thing for the rest of his football career, no, right? But he will always have that. Have that, and that's what makes. I was going to say this tournament great. But I mean the World Cup as an institution of our sport is incredible because his name will be associated with beating the Germans.
Yeah, well,
along with Winston. Along with Winston Churchill. Too soon.
And you know, when
I'll mention the war.
Yeah, Stefan said he wasn't surprised to see Japan play well.
Again, Japan have some good players, and they have that work ethic, right? You know,
they have 8 players playing in the German league, so it's not as if they have not come across.
Remember that striker they had going back a bit now, but I remember he was really impressive, and I always thought he was gonna press on and go to one of like the top teams and do really well, but he never did. Is that Honda?
Oh, I remember.
Yes,
Honda.
Yeah. Was he in the '98 team?
Yeah, I think so.
Or am I thinking too early?
No, I think it was not that or the 2002.
Because they had the one player. I'm probably getting the name wrong. I'm probably butchering it, but Nakata, who used to play for Roma.
That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember Honda was really good because he was so quick and he was quite skillful and very pacey. And I think he went to, I'm not sure. I think he was in Italy for a little while. I'm trying to think where he was, but he was at one of the better clubs in Italy for a while. But then he went. I think he went to Shakhtar.
No, you know what? You guys are you guys are making him really old. His first World Cup was the 2010. He was also in the 2014 and the 2018.
Which clubs did he end up playing for? Can you check on Wiki?
He played for Nagoya Grampus 8.
Yeah, that's
VVV Venlo. I'm not
that's
sure.
That's a big team, man.
CSKA Moscow, AC Milan.
That's AC Milan.
Yeah, Pachuca, Melbourne, Vitesse.
All right, so it was CSKA. Yes, it's CSKA Moscow. I thought it was Ukraine, but no, he went to the Russian.
Yeah, he
league.
played most of the games that he played was for in Moscow.
So. Yeah, and he played for AC Milan. That's it. AC Milan. He was for a little while, but I thought he would.
Sorry, I aged you by. Yeah, sorry, I aged you by 12 years. So.
Because when you said 1990, I thought I just saw him recently.
Yeah,
that's the first. I don't blame Tom because when I think of Honda, I do think way back, many years. It seems many years ago.
I bet it turns out. I bet if I pull up if I pull up Japan's
Don't tell
'98
me.
World Cup team, there will probably be a player in that team named Honda.
Probably.
Sampdoria.
What a blast from the past.
Oh yeah.
That was another 90s team.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he played for them. I mean, he's only 36.
Oh, he played for Milan, wasn't he? He played for AC Milan.
Yeah, so he's playing. Where is he playing now? He's playing.
Is he still playing?
He's playing. Oh, he's a general manager and coach for the Cambodia national team.
Hidotoshi Nakata is the player I was thinking of. Oh, they had Shinji Ono as well at the time. Sorry, I'm going down a memory lane, but unfortunately there was no Honda.
Look at Stefan loves Suzuki as well. Yeah, I just think for Mitsubishi as well.
Yeah, we had a Honda.
I thought Yamaha was a
12 years.
Yamaha was good.
Yamaha was a good player. You could really put your finger on him.
You know, it was even better though. JVC, he was brilliant.
He was good on the telly, weren't he?
He was brilliant on the telly. He looked great on the telly.
Do you guys think because Argentina will be playing? I don't know, when do they start?
It's like 7.
Okay, so they start in another.
I think
45
they
minutes.
win comfortably tonight, and I think they beat Poland comfortably as well.
Mexico? You think they'll beat Mexico?
I do.
Mexico hasn't given up a goal. I think they said in the last 9 World Cup group matches. I think is what they said. If I'm reading, there was a little thing that popped up when they were walking into the stadium. So,
yeah, and then they get to the second round, play Argentina, and lose. Generally,
well, they're not going to play them in the second round this time around.
No, because Argentina are going to do it, punish them now. It's like Argentina versus Mexico after losing to Saudi Arabia reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Drederick Tatum, who is basically Mike Tyson, comes out of prison, but a Homer Simpson's agreed to fight him because of course he has. And basically, the TV advert is like, he served his time in prison and he wants his revenge. After he paid his debt to society, he wants his revenge on Homer Simpson. Yet Homer did nothing in the situation. And it reminds me of that, like Mexico are going to pay for the sins of Saudi Arabia, football sins. Football.
But you know what? So you don't think they have a chance?
No, of course they have a chance. I mean, in the rules of football, they have a chance. Like they can win the contest. They won't. Argentina will win 2-1 against Mexico, like they usually do.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
Tom is very confident.
I know you got this confidence about you, even though you tell us football is played on the football field, not on what happened in the past and all this other stuff that you just brought up that I didn't catch at all.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll go back to that as and when it suits me, obviously. But you know, no, genuinely. Like, no, I'm not saying like they'll blow them away. I just think they'll have a bit too much for them because they have to have too much for them. Because if they don't, they're going home.
Well, you see that's the same mindset as to why many people thought that England would play a certain way going into this match too, right? And it didn't. So, and this is a crazy World Cup, so having Mexico come out there. How did Mexico? They played Poland to a draw. Okay.
Yeah, it was a game that nearly caused my death. It was bad. Yeah. Like it was boring. It was everything wrong with football on TV, as in. I wish they could have literally gone, this game's rubbish. Let's go took our cameras over to the park and we'd just go watch some teenagers play kick football around. Because I was just like, is this really assault? Because there's nothing else on TV at the time because everyone knows the World Cup's on. So they're like, we're just going to put on repeats or rubbish. So I was like, sorry, some of the games, the World Cup is basically, there's 2 types of matches. Absolute shocks, or 3 types. Shocks, blowouts, and boring. Nothing's actually been exciting because it was good. It's all the only exciting games have really been exciting because something unexpected happened.
Yeah. Well, I
As
mean,
in,
the 5 was it the 4 goals or the 5 goals scored in 4 goals scored in like the last 10 minutes of
yeah,
the Portugal match. That
yeah,
one
the
that was
Portugal game, there weren't a goal until like the 65th minute or something, but that previous 65 minutes was drab.
yep, yep. So here we are. We are sitting on 80 minutes. We've talked about a lot of stuff. I don't know if any of it made sense. Was
Very
it?
little. Very little. It made sense.
or if it was even football related. I think we got a little bit. We said football. I'm not sure if it was football related, but we're gonna head out of here in a little bit. Mr. Tom, do you have any segments you want to? Because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had you on the show on a Saturday. Usually we have Tom's. Let's see which one should I go with today. There's probably the usual one because we haven't. This one we have not seen in a while, and I think we're missing it.
Okay,
So,
I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a tactics truck,
Mm.
which I know you love.
Yes.
I'm going to do a tactics truck on the goal scored in yesterday's game between the United States and England. So, let's go. There were no goals scored, so that was it. That's it, isn't it?
Brilliant analysis, Tom.
that was
Fantastic.
crazy. I can't believe you did. What? How did you do?
Amazing.
How did you think that up and then give us some quality and like it's so specific. The attention to detail was great. We got everything we needed, and it took like 1 second.
Absolutely amazing analysis.
I'm proud of my work there. I thought I totally hadn't have. I'm actually thank you, Gareth Southgate, for providing me the opportunity to not have actually thought of a tactics truck until this point. So thank you. I was like, oh shit, what goal can I recreate? Oh, there was a game yesterday, there was none, and I can give out about it. But no, let's be a lesson to you, Gareth. There won't be a second week. I'll do that. So there better be goals, bro.
Well, you know what? He's gonna. Yeah, he should be talking about the next time we're on here, talking about how you finished off. Who are you playing again? Wales.
Wales,
right?
yeah.
And he's sending Ramsey and Bale to the
Right.
football field up in the skies. This is your last hurrah. Bye bye. Get lost and get out.
Yeah. Get over here.
Anything else you want to say to people before we head out of here, Mr. Tom?
I've got a question of the week.
Oh, you.
Well, then.
Ooh.
I've got a question of the week for the audience. It's not World Cup related though, because I haven't planned for that. I mean, in 2003,
Ooh.
what was weird about the Champions League tie between Inter Milan and AC Milan?
In 2003,
Yeah,
what was weird about the
Champions League tie between AC Milan and Inter Milan.
Was that when they? No, that wasn't the final, was it?
It was not. It definitely was not.
What was weird between that? Was that played at a neutral venue?
It was not. It was a standard contest in terms of location and things like that.
So it was played at the San Siro.
Yep.
Ask the question again, just for the people in the back.
What was weird about the 2003 Champions League tie between AC Milan and Inter Milan?
Only goals scored were own goals?
Incorrect.
Just reaching because I don't have a clue.
Obviously, you don't have the answer, Stefan. No, I don't know. Obviously, that part is true. Yeah. But what? I know, to be fair, Stefan, he is on the right track, What did that lead to? That would make it weird.
Oh, was it one of those playoff games they play?
No.
So it means
no,
that the goals, the aggregate didn't matter because you can't get it. You can't have.
They
can you
do
have-
share the same ground. That's not the.
Okay, I'm guessing because I don't know.
Yeah. You are kind of. You're not right, but you are. Again, you're on the right track. You're all edging closer to this.
Oh, here we go. Is this one?
You're very simple. You're very close.
Ooh.
But it's not that. But you are very close.
Is he? Okay, I missed this comment here.
Like I said, what was weird about it?
All right, let us know.
It's probably the only time this has ever actually happened. I can imagine.
Yeah, I'll give up.
Inter Milan were knocked out via the away goals rule, despite playing both matches at home.
That's crazy.
Inter Milan.
Inter Milan lost to AC Milan via away goals, although they ground share. Therefore, they lost the away goals.
Oh, Stefan says, "What are you talking about?" Because this is what he said. Oh. So I don't get. Is he wrong or are you wrong?
Double check.
Do 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 do. Yeah, wait. Mr. Tom as he goes.
We'll double check it. No, they lost on the away goals because it was a 0-0 draw, and then they drew 1-1. But they were designated the home team in the 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. We have confirmed it. Mr. Tom went.
So the home team but lost on away goal. No,
The team lost on away goals despite the fact that they were at home.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? That's an interesting. I like that.
In both games. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's Mr. Tom tell the people.
Yeah, thank you everyone for supporting us and in our social media endeavors. Don't follow me on Twitter, of course. And yeah, no, seriously, thank you for your time on Saturday evening, listening to us three gentlemen talking. I was about to say absolute nonsense, but some of it has merit. I mean, mostly the stuff said by Sam and Gary. But I mean, yeah, but seriously, no, I obviously appreciate your time and your support. And we have a loyal support, so don't think like we don't appreciate it. And have a good week. Cool. Until next time.
Definitely. And Sam.
Yep, very nice to be on as usual. As always, great to see you guys. Great to see everyone in the chat. Nice to see familiar faces, having a good time engaging with us, letting us engage with you. So yeah, it's been good as always. Hopefully England will get somewhere in this World Cup. Be interesting to see how far they get. But yeah, they definitely need to shape their ideas up if they're gonna get anywhere in the tournament beyond the next round. So yeah, be interesting to see. But yeah, just want to say thanks to everyone. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Always great to see you guys and have you guys take part. And see you next time.
Definitely. All right, everyone. Once again, I just double up.
I just realised.
I
just realised Stefan wasn't questioning the answer. That was his guess at the answer. I knew it was 1-1, but I thought he was trying to say it was 0-0.
Okay, that's what I thought it said.
Yeah, no, I get that now. He must have been typing that while I was saying what the answer was. But I thought, and I was he saying that because I thought he sounded so sure about it. I was like, no, that can't be right. I know it was 1-1.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would it be a thing? But yeah, anyway,
True.
but still, it got the old brain going. Sorry,
Hear ya.
Gary, please
No
continue.
problem. Thanks to Mr. Tom and Sam for joining me. Everybody in the chats, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the chatter, and we'll do this again. And next Saturday, I guess we'll be in the what? By that time, we would have played at least the second round. I guess all of the matches, hopefully by then, and we'll see who goes on to the. I guess it's the quarters. I guess I don't know. But thank you again for joining us. We'll do this again. As I like to say, life is a journey. Don't waste a trip. Enjoy the ride, everyone. And we'll see you on the next one.